Until then, I'm the voice of reason and... What was that?
Oh, nothing. Just a little experiment I had planning while you were searching for me.
What did you do?
Well, I wanted to see what happens if I threw a horror symbol into the rift, and would you know it, they appear to be multiplying.
You son of a... I'll be back for this!
That's what you get for shunning me out of the review.
When we were first introduced to bat ponies in Luna Eclipsed, I was rather confused and underwhelmed that there was yet another race of ponies. It didn't get into my head though, because I only found it to be a minor concern. After all, there are crystal ponies later on, and hopefully there might be some sea ponies. That all depends on what the creators decide. However, there were some hints here and there, and then there was fan art of bat ponies that were explored upon. And finally, we see a canon when the episode Bats aired. And to get this off my chest, bat ponies look badass. It was later something I was able to appreciate up to this point. I'm so glad it was introduced because now I wish I was a bat pony.
Hey Fox, sorry to interrupt you. Are you in the middle of anything?
Oh, that's fine, voice. What's up?
Just to give a warning to many analysts and reviewers, we're, having some strange issues in the riff right now, thanks to a certain orange pony that should not be named. Oh, not you, Fox, the other pony that should not be named. Well, there's a swarm of mysterious bats invading other channels, and there's been rumors of how notorious their bites are, so I'm just checking in each of you to warn you while I'm at it, so, keep on guard.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ow, my wing, you little shit!
Ah, crap, I'm so sorry about that, Fox. I'll take care of him. In case you feel anything strange, I'll get Dr. Wolf to check on you.
Thanks, voice. Ugh, that hurt. And it's not going away either. I don't feel so good. Ugh, what's happening to me? This is amazing! Look at me, I'm a bat pony! Man, the eyes, the ears, the fangs, and the wings. Oh, the wings. Mwah! Whatever it is that bat did to me, I can't thank it enough. You know, coincidentally, I should get back to talking about the episode Bats. What did I think about this episode? Well, despite its many shortcomings, I loved it. Even though the plot was thin and predictable, it didn't overwhelm me because it introduced me to something more for Applejack other than the other episodes. But I'm getting too ahead of myself here. The episode begins when Applejack is preparing for a day of apple bucking season, only to find out that the acres have been infested by fruit bats. They consume the apples dry, which becomes an issue on multiple levels, and honestly, I don't blame Applejack about the frustration with the bats. This becomes a territorial dispute, which was actually played out better than over a barrel. I'll get back to that in a bit. After the opening is over, her family members are away for the time being, so for once, she uses her brain and calls for help. After her lesson of acknowledging help in Applebuck season, this message was ignored, especially in Super Speedy, only to be relearned badly. But here, we see her excel her options. Applejack explains her issue of the main six and insists that she wants to get rid of the bats. Fluttershy, on the other hand, sees it from another perspective with the song. Stopping here for a bit, I can admire the Danny Elfman style of the song as it explains the setup.
It comes down to just one simple fact. They've crossed the line, it's time to fight them. Stop the bats, make them go and not come back. Stop the bats, make them go and not come back.
Much like May the Best Pet Win, it's played out in a Broadway style, establishing two viewpoints across. Obviously, Applejack's property is invaded, and the apples that she harvests is important for Ponyville. Fluttershy, being the obvious expert on the animals, is new with the fruit bats, so the lack of knowledge Fluttershy has can be overwhelming to others. But as Fluttershy understands, she sees them as a survival instinct which may have families to raise, as well as many other animals do on a general basis. Her belief is that making a sanctuary for the bats to keep them in one place instead of spreading them out and destroying the acres is beneficial, especially since theoretically the seeds can grow stronger trees. This is a pretty legitimate reason when you think about it, but on Applejack's side, her level of frustration gets the best out of her, as well as the rest of the the main 6. Their attempts are to lure them away and no longer lusting for the apples, as Fluttershy is positioned to make the stare to hold them off as Twilight uses a spell that diminishes their lust for apples. The plan on the bats work, but only to be a repercussive backfire as the lust gets reflected into Fluttershy. Here we see a build-up to when she becomes a bat pony, and from this point on, we see another problem that takes place.
If she keeps this up, your whole crop will be gone in no time. That's the least of my worries. I just want my friend back.
Of course, Fluttershy is cornered by her reflections and is transformed back. A small chunk of the acres is shared to the bats as Fluttershy is addressed. Obviously, this is played out as an environmental message, and the conflict was heavily one-sided, being that Fluttershy was right the whole time. But the solution was more balanced than, let's say, Ferngully or Once Upon a Forest. Instead of just having a solution to benefit only one side, it's a solution for both sides. Bats had a balanced solution at the end of the episode, instead of favoring one side that environmental movies did. And even though it's beating you over the head, it's not a last-minute solution as Over a Barrel has. The plot is thin and utterly predictable. It's been done before, and that's also why people have an issue with this episode. That, I can't blame you for. Unfortunately, that's also perceived as an issue, and Twilight, who is the brains of many solutions, is randomly choosing to side with AJ. The other issues I had is that Dash is mentioning the amount of cider that could have been made into.
What about the cider? There was still cider, right? Not a drop. No cider? No cider! Think of the cider. Won't some pony please think of the cider?
Do I really need to be reminded of that horrendous joke in Super Speedy, Williams? It doesn't establish anything except be a callback to the episode. Yes, you could say that it could cost the Apple family their food and products, but this is hammered in too much. So it's not only subjective, but it's also pointless. What's also pointless is Spike randomly appearing in the middle of the episode.
Don't mention it, Applejack. It was my pleasure. Really.
Why? It makes Spike less favorable that way. In fact, in the rest of the episode, he didn't do anything. Especially given what you've established in Power Ponies, which, by the way, was the previous episode, you're now dismissing him once more. That being said, though, I'm not bothered by the shortcomings. I was more engaged with the main story, which, while admittedly it was formulated, it feels rather refreshing to me and I love it. It was terrifically well paced with some metaphorical attributes like Power Ponies. Judged by Applejack's commitments turning Fluttershy into a monster, it reflects Fluttershy's viewpoint to what Applejack didn't see prior. That's pretty clever to do what it needs to do and get the message across. Territorial disputes and even peer pressure from Fluttershy's conflict. So ultimately, it makes two messages back to back, which is pretty difficult to pull off. Additionally, it carries another great sense of atmosphere like Castlemania, especially during the third act. Meriwether Williams seems to be improving over time since I always nagged at her missed opportunities in the past. So I hope that she keeps up with what she's got.
Okay, so I got a hold of Dr. Wolf and oh my god. Well, that's a new look for you.
Hey, I'm cool with this. I'm a bat pony.
Oh, I was gonna explain the good news and bad news, but I guess that's been switched around.
What do you mean?
Well, what the bat did to you was more of bad news, but I guess you like it, so I consider that good. The actual good news, and which you consider bad, is that the venom only works temporarily.
What?
Well, I just lost my appetite for about 5 weeks.
Oh man, I'm back to my pony self again.
Hey, be thankful you're not immortal. That's what actual vampire ponies become, as well as being unsustainable to sunlight.
Well, that's true. I should be careful on what to wish for next time.
Well, I can't blame you for wanting to be a vampire bat pony. After all, you did look pretty cool as one.
But I guess all things have to come to an end sooner or later.
Well, I better check other channels to make sure everything's under control.
Okay, voice, good luck.
Thanks, Fox.
Okay, so awkward moment is awkward. Until next time, I'm Golden Fox, and I'll catch you all later.